The smell hits you first. A thick, sweet cloud of molasses and vinegar that seems to seep through every crack in the concrete walls. Inside Building C of one of America's largest condiment facilities, massive steel vats bubble and hiss like something out of a mad scientist's laboratory. But this isn't fiction. This is where your favorite barbecue sauce is born. And what happens behind these doors will completely change how you see that innocent-looking bottle sitting in your refrigerator. Most people have never stopped to think about it. You grab a bottle off the supermarket shelf, squeeze it onto your ribs, and that's that. But barbecue sauce isn't just ketchup with smoke flavor thrown in. It's a carefully engineered product involving chemistry, precision timing, industrial scale cooking, and secrets that some manufacturers guard more fiercely than nuclear codes. The truth is, what goes into that bottle is far more complex, more fascinating, and in some cases, more surprising than you ever imagined. Walk into any barbecue sauce production facility and you'll immediately notice something unexpected: the temperature. These factories run hot, not just because of the cooking equipment, but because sugar-based products require specific environmental conditions to prevent crystallization and maintain consistency. The air itself feels different, heavy with moisture and the unmistakable tang of fermented ingredients meeting caramelized sweetness. But before we step into the production floor, there's something you need to understand about barbecue sauce that most people get completely wrong. Americans consume approximately 150 million bottles of barbecue sauce every single year. That's enough to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool more than 3 times over. Yet despite this massive consumption, surveys show that over 60% of consumers have no idea what actually goes into the sauce. They assume tomatoes, smoke, and sugar. They're not entirely wrong, but they're missing about 40 other ingredients that make modern barbecue sauce what it is. The regional variations alone tell a fascinating story. Kansas City-style sauce is thick, sweet, and tomato-based. Carolina sauces split into 2 camps: vinegar-based in the east, mustard-based in the south. Texas prefers a thinner, spicier blend. Memphis goes heavy on the molasses. Alabama has a completely unique white sauce made with mayonnaise. Each style requires different production techniques, different equipment, and different quality control measures. A factory producing multiple regional varieties essentially operates several different production lines under one roof, each calibrated to exacting specifications. Here's something that will surprise you: the smoke flavor in most commercial barbecue sauces has never been anywhere near actual smoke. It comes from liquid smoke, a product created by condensing actual wood smoke, capturing it in water, and filtering out the carcinogenic compounds. This process was invented in 1895 by a pharmacist named Ernest H. Wright, who noticed condensation in a stovepipe and wondered if he could bottle it. Today, liquid smoke is a multi-million-dollar industry, and some manufacturers consider their specific blend as proprietary as Coca-Cola's formula. The science behind barbecue sauce stability is genuinely remarkable. These sauces need to survive months on store shelves, temperature fluctuations during shipping, repeated opening and closing in home refrigerators, and potential contamination from dirty utensils. Achieving this requires understanding pH levels, water activity, preservative systems, and microbial behavior. Most commercial barbecue sauces maintain a pH between 3.5 and 4.0, acidic enough to inhibit bacterial growth but not so acidic that it burns your mouth. This narrow window requires precise formulation and constant testing. The color of barbecue sauce presents its own engineering challenge. Consumers expect a deep, rich brown red that suggests slow-smoked meat and caramelized goodness. But many ingredients naturally darken or lighten during cooking and storage. Tomato paste oxidizes. Sugar caramelizes. Spices fade. To maintain consistent color batch after batch, manufacturers use sophisticated colorimetry equipment that measures exact wavelengths of light reflected off the sauce. If a batch falls outside the acceptable color range, it gets reformulated or discarded, even if it tastes perfect. The global barbecue sauce market is projected to exceed $3.8 billion by 2028, growing at roughly 5% annually. This isn't just an American phenomenon anymore. Barbecue sauce has found surprising popularity in South Korea, where it's used in fusion dishes combining traditional Korean flavors with American-style grilling. Japanese consumers have embraced sweeter, less spicy versions. European markets are growing steadily, particularly in Germany and the UK, where American-style barbecue restaurants have exploded in popularity over the past decade. But here's something truly mind-blowing. The shelf life of properly manufactured barbecue sauce can exceed 3 years unopened. 3 years. That means a bottle produced today could still be perfectly safe and delicious in 2029. This longevity comes from a combination of factors: high sugar content, which binds water and makes it unavailable to microorganisms; acidity that creates a hostile environment for bacteria; preservatives like sodium benzoate or potassium sorbate; and pasteurization during bottling. It's food science at its finest. The ingredient list on a typical barbecue sauce bottle reads like a chemistry textbook, and there's a reason for each component. Xanthan gum prevents separation. Caramel color ensures consistency. Natural flavors enhance taste without adding sodium. Modified food starch creates the perfect cling factor so the sauce doesn't just slide off your meat. Calcium chloride firms up diced tomatoes before they're processed. Each ingredient serves a specific functional purpose, and removing even one can compromise the entire product. One of the most fascinating aspects of barbecue sauce production is the concept of flavor layering. Premium manufacturers don't just dump ingredients into a vat and stir. They add components in carefully timed sequences, allowing certain flavors to develop before introducing others. Onions and garlic might be sautéed first to develop sweetness. Spices are often bloomed in oil to release aromatic compounds. Vinegar is added late to preserve its sharp tang. Sugar is caramelized separately before incorporation. This sequential building creates depth and complexity that simple mixing cannot achieve. The packaging itself represents another layer of complexity. Barbecue sauce bottles aren't just random plastic containers. They're specifically engineered for the product they contain. The plastic must be compatible with acidic ingredients and not leach chemicals. The cap must create an airtight seal while remaining easy to open. The label adhesive must withstand refrigerator condensation and sticky fingers. The bottle shape must be ergonomic, stackable, and visually appealing while minimizing material use. Designing the perfect barbecue sauce bottle can take years of development and testing. Here's something that might disturb you. The natural flavors listed on ingredient labels can include some unexpected sources. Natural smoke flavor might come from hickory, mesquite, applewood, or even peat. Natural beef flavor, used in some barbecue sauces, can be derived from actual beef but processed in ways you'd never imagine. Natural spice extracts are concentrated forms of peppers, garlic, or onions, sometimes 100 times stronger than the original ingredient. Natural doesn't mean simple or recognizable. It just means derived from natural sources rather than synthesized in a lab. The water used in barbecue sauce production undergoes treatment processes that would rival a municipal water facility. It's filtered to remove particles, softened to eliminate minerals that could affect flavor, deionized to remove dissolved salts, and sometimes UV treated to eliminate any residual microorganisms. The reason is simple but critical. Water makes up a significant portion of most barbecue sauces, and any off flavors or contaminants in the water will be magnified in the final product. Some manufacturers actually create custom water profiles, adding specific minerals back in to achieve desired flavor characteristics, similar to how breweries treat water for beer production. The tomato paste used in most barbecue sauces tells its own fascinating story. These aren't fresh tomatoes being crushed in the factory. They're industrial tomato products that have already been processed, concentrated, and sometimes stored for months before arriving at the source facility. Vinegar, another key ingredient, comes in more varieties than most people realize. Distilled white vinegar is the most common, but premium barbecue sauces might use apple cider vinegar, wine vinegar, or even balsamic vinegar. Each type contributes different flavor notes and acidity profiles. Sugar in barbecue sauce comes from multiple sources, each contributing different characteristics. White sugar provides clean sweetness. Brown sugar adds molasses notes and complexity. Honey contributes floral undertones and helps with browning. Corn syrup improves texture and prevents crystallization. Molasses brings deep, almost bittersweet richness. The spice blends used in commercial barbecue sauce production are rarely simple. A typical blend might include 20 or more individual spices, each sourced from different regions worldwide. The production facility itself is designed with contamination prevention as a primary concern. Floors slope toward drains to prevent standing water. Walls are made of non-porous materials that can be pressure washed. Equipment is constructed from stainless steel that won't corrode or harbor bacteria. Air handling systems create positive pressure to prevent outside contaminants from entering. Personnel follow strict hygiene protocols, including hand washing stations, hairnets, beard nets, and sometimes full protective suits. A single contamination event could result in millions of dollars in recalled product and destroyed brand reputation. Now let's walk through the actual manufacturing process, step by step, as it happens in a real facility. The journey begins in the receiving area, where tanker trucks deliver liquid ingredients like vinegar and corn syrup, while pallets of drums containing tomato paste, spice blends, and other dry goods are unloaded and moved to climate-controlled storage. Every incoming ingredient is assigned a lot number and sampled for testing. Nothing enters production until it's been cleared by the Quality Control Laboratory. When a production run is scheduled, the formula is loaded into the facility's computer system, which calculates exact quantities needed and generates picking lists for the warehouse. Workers retrieve ingredients and transport them to the production floor, where they're staged near the cooking vessels. These vessels, called kettles, can hold anywhere from 500 to 5,000 gallons depending on the facility size. They're jacketed, meaning they have a hollow outer wall through which steam or cooling water can circulate, allowing precise temperature control. This base mixture cooks for a specified time, allowing flavors to begin developing and melding. While the base cooks, technicians prepare the spice blend. In many facilities, spices are pre-mixed in a separate area using specialized blending equipment that ensures uniform distribution of each component. The blend might be added directly to the kettle, or it might first be bloomed in oil to extract maximum flavor. This blooming process involves heating the spices in a small amount of oil until they become fragrant, releasing aromatic compounds that would remain locked inside if the spices were simply stirred into the sauce. Sugar is often added in stages rather than all at once. An initial portion goes in early to begin caramelization and flavor development. Additional sugar is added later to adjust sweetness and ensure some remains in its original form rather than being completely transformed by heat. This staged addition creates complexity, with some sugar providing deep, cooked flavors while other sugar contributes bright, clean sweetness. Liquid smoke is typically added toward the end of cooking to preserve its volatile aromatic compounds. If added too early, many of these compounds would evaporate, taking the smoke flavor with them. The amount of liquid smoke used is measured in ounces per 100 gallons, tiny quantities that nonetheless have enormous impact on the final flavor profile. Some manufacturers use multiple types of liquid smoke, layering hickory with mesquite or applewood to create signature smoke characters. As the sauce nears completion, it's tested for several critical parameters. A sample is pulled and immediately cooled to room temperature because many properties change with temperature. The pH is measured using a calibrated meter. It must fall within a narrow acceptable range. The Brix, or sugar content, is checked with a refractometer. The viscosity is measured using a device called a Brookfield viscometer, which determines how thick the sauce is and how it will flow from a bottle. The color is analyzed using a spectrophotometer. If any parameter falls outside specifications, adjustments are made and the sauce is retested. Once the sauce meets all specifications, it moves to the filling line. This is where industrial-scale production becomes truly impressive. Modern filling lines can fill, cap, and label up to 600 bottles per minute. The empty bottles arrive on a conveyor, having been rinsed with sterile water or air to remove any dust or debris. They pass under filling heads that dispense exactly the right amount of sauce into each bottle. typically using volumetric or weight-based systems that ensure consistency to within a fraction of an ounce. The sauce is still hot when it's filled, usually around 185 to 195 degrees Fahrenheit. This hot fill process serves multiple purposes. The heat pasteurizes the inside of the bottle, killing any microorganisms that might have survived the cooking process. It also creates a vacuum seal as the sauce cools and contracts, pulling the cap tight and preventing contamination. Some facilities use tunnel pasteurizers, where filled bottles pass through a heated tunnel that ensures every bottle reaches the required temperature for the required time. Caps are applied immediately after filling, while the sauce is still hot. These caps often have induction seals, thin layers of foil that are bonded to the bottle opening using electromagnetic induction. As the capped bottles pass under an induction coil, the foil heats up and fuses to the bottle rim, creating a hermetic seal that prevents leakage and tampering. You've probably peeled these seals off bottles hundreds of times without realizing the sophisticated technology behind them. Labels are applied with remarkable precision. Modern labeling machines use sensors to detect bottle position and apply labels in exactly the right location, even on bottles moving at high speed. The labels themselves are engineered products, with adhesives formulated to stick to plastic in refrigerator conditions, inks that won't fade or smear, and materials that resist moisture and tearing. Some labels include QR codes that link to recipes, nutritional information, or even videos showing how the sauce is made. After labeling, bottles are coded with production information. This might be a simple date code stamped on the cap, or it might be a complex laser-etched code that includes production date, facility location, batch number, and even the specific filling line used. This traceability is crucial for quality control and potential recalls. If a problem is discovered with a specific batch, manufacturers can identify exactly which bottles are affected and where they were distributed. The bottles then move to case packing, where robots or automated systems arrange them into cardboard cases. These cases are designed to protect the bottles during shipping while minimizing material use and cost. The cases are sealed, stacked on pallets, wrapped in plastic film for stability, and moved to the warehouse for distribution. A single pallet might hold 1,200 bottles, and a large facility might produce hundreds of pallets per day. Throughout this entire process, samples are continuously pulled for testing. Microbiological samples are incubated for days to ensure no harmful bacteria are present. Sensory panels taste the sauce to confirm flavor meets standards. Accelerated shelf life studies begin immediately, with samples stored at elevated temperatures to predict how the sauce will age over months and years. If any issues are detected, the entire batch can be held or destroyed before it reaches consumers. The waste management in a barbecue sauce facility is surprisingly complex. Leftover sauce can't just be washed down the drain because the high sugar and acid content would overwhelm municipal wastewater systems. Instead, it's often collected and sent to facilities that process it into animal feed or compost. Bottles that don't meet quality standards are ground up and recycled. Cardboard is baled and sold to recyclers. Even the steam condensate from the cooking kettles is often captured and reused to reduce water consumption. Energy efficiency has become a major focus in modern sauce production. The cooking process requires enormous amounts of heat, traditionally supplied by natural gas boilers. But progressive facilities are now installing heat recovery systems that capture waste heat from one process and use it to preheat ingredients for another. Some use solar panels to offset electricity consumption. Others have switched to electric kettles powered by renewable energy. These changes aren't just environmental, they're economic, as energy represents a significant portion of production costs. The innovation happening in barbecue sauce manufacturing is genuinely exciting. Some companies are experimenting with high-pressure processing, a technique that uses extreme pressure instead of heat to kill microorganisms, potentially preserving fresher flavors. Others are exploring fermentation, allowing beneficial bacteria to develop complex flavors naturally. There's research into plant-based smoke flavors that could replace liquid smoke. Some manufacturers are even using artificial intelligence to optimize recipes, analyzing thousands of formulations to predict which combinations will be most appealing to consumers. The supply chain behind barbecue sauce is global and intricate. Tomatoes from California, vinegar from the Midwest, spices from Asia and Europe, bottles from plastics manufacturers, labels from specialty printers, caps from injection molding facilities. All of these components must arrive at the production facility in perfect coordination. A delay in any single ingredient can shut down production, costing thousands of dollars per hour. Supply chain managers use sophisticated software to track shipments, predict delays, and maintain buffer stocks of critical ingredients. The testing that happens before a new barbecue sauce reaches market is exhaustive. Focus groups taste dozens of variations, rating each on flavor, texture, appearance, and purchase intent. Shelf life studies run for months or years, with samples analyzed at regular intervals to track changes in pH, color, viscosity, and microbial load. Packaging tests subject bottles to drop tests, temperature cycling, and vibration to ensure they'll survive the distribution chain. Some companies even conduct in-home usage tests, sending bottles to consumers who use them over several weeks and provide detailed feedback. The competitive landscape in barbecue sauce is fierce. Major brands spend millions on advertising and promotion, fighting for shelf space in grocery stores. Smaller craft producers compete on quality and uniqueness, offering artisanal sauces with premium ingredients and distinctive flavors. Private label brands undercut both on price, offering acceptable quality at lower cost. This competition drives constant innovation, with new products launching regularly and underperforming ones being discontinued just as quickly. The environmental impact of barbecue sauce production is receiving increased attention. Water usage is substantial, both for ingredient preparation and cleaning. Energy consumption is high due to cooking and refrigeration requirements. Packaging materials contribute to plastic waste. Progressive manufacturers are addressing these issues through water recycling systems, renewable energy adoption, and lightweighting of bottles to reduce plastic use. Some are even exploring refillable bottle programs, though the logistics and consumer acceptance remain challenging. The future of barbecue sauce manufacturing will likely see continued automation, with robots and AI taking over more production tasks. There will be greater customization, with some companies offering personalized sauces tailored to individual taste preferences. Sustainability will become increasingly important, with pressure to reduce environmental impact across the entire supply chain. New ingredients will emerge, offering novel flavors or functional benefits. And the global market will continue expanding as barbecue culture spreads to new regions and countries. One of the most remarkable things about barbecue sauce is how it bridges tradition and technology. The basic concept of a sweet, tangy, smoky sauce for grilled meat has existed for generations. But the methods used to produce it commercially involve cutting-edge food science, industrial engineering, and quality control systems that would have been unimaginable a few decades ago. That bottle in your refrigerator represents the culmination of centuries of culinary tradition and decades of technological advancement. So there you have it. The complete story of what barbecue sauce is really made of and how it's actually produced. From the chemistry of flavor development to the industrial machinery that cooks thousands of gallons at once, from the microscopic testing that ensures safety to the global supply chains that deliver ingredients from around the world. It's far more complex, far more fascinating, and far more carefully controlled than most people ever imagine. But speaking of condiments that hide surprising complexity, have you ever wondered what's really inside that jar of mayonnaise? That creamy, smooth emulsion that seems so simple but actually involves some of the most sophisticated food science in the entire condiment industry. The production process will absolutely blow your mind, and the ingredients might surprise you even more than barbecue sauce did. That video just appeared on your screen, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden world of barbecue sauce manufacturing, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another deep dive into the factories and processes that create the everyday products we all use. And here's a question for you. What surprised you most about barbecue sauce production? Was it the complexity of the ingredients, the sophistication of the equipment, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and your feedback helps shape future episodes. Until next time, keep questioning what's really in your food, and I'll keep taking you behind the scenes to find the answers.